Hi guys, it's Copper Cutlass, and anything that can go wrong will go wrong. You can see we got our old backing plate there with an old wheel cylinder. I replaced the wheel cylinders. I replaced the rear end lines. Everything looks really nice. The only problem is that I had problems. I broke one of the fittings for my pneumatic flare tool. I wasn't happy with some of the flares. I wasn't happy with the fact that one of the lines wasn't threading properly into the rubber line up here. Let's see if I can get my light going. There we go. So you guys see a new line there. I got a stainless on one side and a coated steel on the other because, yeah, shit happens. So I had a problem with it threading up into the top portion there, the block that bolts into the diff. And I wanted to redo it all. Well, this morning I go and pick up brake line, and even though it was a 3/16 line, it did not have the proper fitting on there. And I don't have a flaring tool. So I kept the old line that I made, because I was going to replace both, and I bought section because I didn't want to, since I didn't have a flaring tool, I wanted to buy I bought a 30 inch section that would work. And that's how I did that side. And the 30 inch would have been perfect for this side because this side's a little shorter because it's not exactly dead center. The block at the top isn't dead center. So I was all set for that. And I managed to bleed my brakes kind of a unique way. And right now we have a really good pedal, but I did it by essentially, instead of pumping the brakes, I pumped the wheel cylinder until fluid came out, and then I would squeeze it until fluid would come out with no bubbles. And I'm going to do one last bleeding session. I didn't have my power bleeder here, but I figured whether you're pumping the brakes or whether you're pumping the wheel cylinder, you're pumping the hydraulic system. And if you're trying to pull air out of the system, pumping it at the rear is usually the best. That's essentially in theory, you're bleeding it at the rear of the system while I'm drawing it at the rear of the system. And it seemed to work fine. I got a really, actually, better pedal than before. That might be because of the wheel cylinders, though. But I have to fill the transmission, the rear end, and then I think I'm going to run it on jack stands and see if I can hear the noise still or take it for a drive around the block and see what happens. For now, I'm done for the day. I wasn't actually supposed to be out here today. I was supposed to kind of have a chill Saturday, but I fixed my Suburban yesterday at work since it didn't take me long to put new shocks and springs in that. And I figured I'd come out here fart around with the lines, and next thing you know, one thing led to another, and we got it all done. So if the transmission kind of stops clicking or is clicking, what I figure is, it's not the sprag, because I've been there before. If I roll the sprag or lost second gear, it'd go into neutral. It could be the governor, which I think it's got one in there just to seal the fluid passages, because this is a full manual valve body car. That could be it. It could be the speedometer, which I think I have a dummy unit in there. I just don't know if I have the turning end or the gear in there because I have it epoxied off where the speedometer gear would go in because my speedometer gear never worked. Or it could be that the parking pawl spring broke and the parking pawl is ratcheting. But that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense because usually you need the tension on the parking pawl for it to engage in park. And I just can't quite remember if that parking pawl will fall under weight and lock. But certainly if the parking pawl was dragging, it would lock in neutral, I would assume. Unless it's still getting pulled back. Again, it's been a while since I have seen the internals of the parking pawl and how it's set up. But essentially, if the transmission's still good and it'll do a second gear burnout, I think I'm just going to roll with it, and we're going to test the car as is with the 456 gear and the old converter, and then swap to the new transmission in the 5000 stall to really see if there's a change. So at least for like our first time of testing, I think I'm going to be inclined to test with the current transmission, because I don't think it's as hurt as I thought. The fluid was clean. There was very, very fine shrapnel on the end of the magnetic drain plug. So I think our best course of action would be to just get, we got this all back together. I'm going to drive it, make sure everything's good, top off fluids, and then probably hit the track as is, and then swap the transmission if it is needed, or to try the 5000 stall, which if it's not needed to swap the transmission, then I'm not going to swap the transmission. Because I mean, we're going bracket racing, so right now I'm not worried about going fast, but we'll have the 5000 stalled to test it. I'm having it cleaned and stuff, and I guess a fresh transmission would be better, and that's where I'm on the fence. It's not a lot of work. It's only, I think the last time I did it took me 2.5 hours to swap out the transmission in here, not at a shop. So I got it down to a science. It's just, and I plan on replacing the exhaust anyway. So and to do the exhaust, I have to drop that, and then that's half the work to drop the trans, to be honest with you. So like, I'm already halfway there. I have to loosen up a header and, to get the transmission out. So really, it's not that bad of a deal. I might just do it. I don't know. I'm on the fence on this. So let me know what you guys think. Share, like, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram as Copper Cutlass, and we'll see you around.